Feeling a little foggy today. Hey, welcome back everybody. And yes, it is quite foggy today, so I doubt we're going to see any warbirds flying. But did want to share some good news. Something that happened last Saturday night here at the hangar. Here, I'll just show you. Check it out. Yes, that's exactly what you think it is. This tug now stops. So thanks to a couple of our guys, Will and JP there, getting the brakes on this all sorted out. So we can now pull aircraft again. I still got to get underneath it at some point and look at the transmission. I think there's a linkage that needs to get adjusted because of the way it shifts, and that it really just wants to take off just at idle, which is normal. But we'll get to there. The important thing is it stops again, and that is our heavy tug that can pull aircraft, unlike our other one that we kind of fried reverse in because it's not meant to carry aircraft, because it's meant to carry baggage trailers. Anyway, I digress. So we're dealing with this a little later today. That test procedure that we found for that overvoltage relay involves two separate power supplies, one set for 24 volts and one that's adjustable anywhere from 0 to 40. So basically you're using what I think it's doing is there's a comparator circuit inside there that sees the source voltage, and when it's in here, likely it's coming from the battery. You know, the battery's 24 volts, and then whatever the generator is producing comes in on another pin. It compares the two, and if the one is too high, then it engages the relay and trips the power card back to idle and shuts off the gens, which is what it's supposed to do whenever it senses a fault. It's supposed to kick the gens off and idle the engine. That should be coming in a little later today from another one of our guys. I hear something winding up over there at the FBO, probably one of the commercial operators. And let's see if we can go get an update on the F-4 with Crew Chief Al. Alright, we got Crew Chief Al here with the F-4, and looks like he got a little bit decorated there with some, looks like Jet A. So, he got anointed by the jet. So, question I got last weekend was pertaining to the engines, the seats, and what happens when the inspection's done, as far as like the sign-offs and whatnot. So, engines, I think
engines are pretty much good to go. You need to do another engine run just to do a final check of operational parameters and leaks.
I think we need two, right? Just a
double engine run.
The first check, and then the one where we chain her down outside.
Right. Well, we got to get past the initial checks and all that. We're also going to be doing flight control checks and system checks. And then once we get that all satisfactory and everything done, then probably get to a point of doing either a tied down AB run or probably doing a high-speed taxi check.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Too. Let's see, what was the other thing? The seats are going to be, when we're done with the aircraft, they'll be installed in serviceable condition.
Nice.
Let's see, what else? The engines are okay. What was the other question?
Pretty much when the inspection's done and everything's signed off, usually the FAA is perfectly happy with it.
Right, well, see, we're not under military operations anymore. We're under the FAA. We're Part 91. Experimental, and then the documentation will be completed in accordance with the FAA's Part 43. FAR is Part 43.
You know that far better than I do.
Well, I'm also an A&P and an IA, trust me. And I've worked for the government. I know all about tons and tons of paperwork. As a matter of fact, back in the day, the saying was the airplane can't fly till the weight of the paperwork equals the weight of the airplane.
Oh boy. But it'll be an exciting day when it's everything's finished.
Well, my plan is, or right now, if everything goes well, is next weekend I'm going to start getting the intakes inspected and everything. Go ahead and put the covers on them. Start maybe making sure everything's serviced and ready. A double check to make sure everything's all buttoned up the way it needs to be.
Oh yeah, because I noticed that we got the one screen back.
Well, I took it over to my friend and we did some work to it. It's as you could guess, here in Houston, Texas, on the coast, we have a bit of problem with corrosion on everything. But we cleaned it up as best we could, put some new rivets in it and everything. It's serviceable now.
Yeah. I'll show you guys that in a minute.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll put the screens on it, and he's been working on the NCAA power generator and
getting the electronics up squared away up in here.
and they're doing a lot of the. We're finally getting to that point of we're doing a lot of the last minute put-togethers, and as we're finishing up the inspection's mostly done. It's just these last finish-up items that have to be done, and after, of course, during the double engine run, we're liable to find a few other things that need to be done.
And take care of that.
We'll take care of that, and then the last thing after that will be a good high-speed taxi check, a full burner, pop the chute, and if the pilot's happy with it, we'll check it over one more time and get it a check flight.
And then make sure the chutes are good in the seats as well.
Well, yeah,
there's a time limit on those,
right.
I remember.
Well, they'll go through repack.
Yeah, which none of us are qualified to do, I don't think.
No, there's a couple of things we can't do, and that's the airspeed, your airspeed altitude indicators and your parachutes. We have to have those done by a certified shop.
That and tires.
Well, tires only because we don't have the equipment to do it.
No.
And I really wouldn't want to.
No, I mean either. High pressure tires are, yeah.
Well, anyways, I stink like jet fuel, and I will all day. But everybody, thanks for being fellow Phantom fans, and one of these days, not too far from now, you'll get to hear some noise.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Thanks, Al.
All right, we'll see you.
Alrighty guys, as promised, here is that one screen that Jack was working on, and a whole pile of rivets got replaced, and this thing has been primed and is about ready for a new coat of red paint. I think we got to figure out where our stencils are so we can stencil the safety warnings up there on the grates, but this thing is looking far better than it did before. So when it comes to doing the any high power checks, especially if we take her out to the tie down pad and chain her down, this is, we're definitely going to have to use these. So awesome. And what we got going on down in here, Justin?
Oh, just trying to get this RF connection back solved. Currently just getting everything cleaned up. Hopefully we'll be able to get this pin connected.
Yeah, because now we actually have the right connector and a nice set of cable crimpers specifically for doing this. Awesome. Well, once we get the power cart and then we can, and this knocked out, we can try out COM 3 again. Mm-hmm. Sweet. Progress. Like having good progress here. Alright, so I'm getting set up to test this with the 2 power supplies, and I got to looking real close at this, and there's that relay that's supposed to toggle whenever it overvolts, and I'll have to get the better lens on this real quick, but those are stuck together. Give me a second, let me zoom in for you guys. See if I can get a light on it for you guys. So right there, and I'll put an arrow on the screen. Those contacts should not be, you got the 2 that don't move and then the 1 in the center that does, and it's only supposed to touch 2 at a time, not all 3. So that there is a stuck relay, so I'm gonna have to work with that to get it forced open and go from there, but that's not supposed to be like that. So based on this, that's contacts 2 and 3, and under normal operation they are open. They're not supposed to close. Whenever they close, that's what signals the fault board on the NC8 to idle down the generator and turn off both generators. So that's what we got. Now that it is changing states now, that's good. I do wonder if this has to be energized in order for that to be open. Hey Justin, you mind coming here real quick?
Yes, sir.
So right, see the armature?
Yep.
Push down on that for me. I'm gonna have this
On. Hold on, there's a wire in the way. This top one?
Yeah. No. Right there in the middle.
Middle?
Mm-hmm. Alright, let it go. Aha! There it is.
Maybe if we apply 24 volts, it'll just.
It might, but seeing those things completely slammed shut and completely merged was not normal.
No, it's probably stuck. Maybe.
No. And that's what happens to relays over time. Sometimes with the amount of arcing that happens over time, sometimes they do get sticky. That happens.
Like
Nice.
Points on an old distributor.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm fighting with that on my Spitfire at the house right now, trying to get the ignition time and sorting out that and the carburetor. Fun though. Be getting that back on the road soon.
Little carb imitators.
All right, so here's the setup. Got my power supply here. That's the 24 volts constant that this thing is looking for that drives that relay. And then we got this variable power supply over here that can go up as high as that we need it, because this is supposed to trip at 36, but as you saw the other weeks, that this is tripping at 20, or at least the NC8 thinks it's tripping at 20. So we're gonna start at 16 volts here and should hear the relay engage. All right, got this all set up, so whenever this beeps, that means this is tripped offline, like that. So that's getting the 24 volt signal that it wants, and now we're going to feed it the other voltage that it's looking for and see where it trips at and go from there.
You're actually simulating bus voltage.
It takes what's coming off the generator and puts it down here, but it takes 24 from what I think is the battery. Its schematics don't make that exactly clear, but got 24 there, so now we can ramp this up. 20. Hey, it's tripping at 20.
Where do you want it to trip?
At 36.
Okay, there's a pot on there.
But it did self-reset just now.
Yeah.
So
it's working. The circuit's working. You're just out of adjustment.
yeah, definitely out of adjustment, but there is a potentiometer right there
On the top.
that we can adjust. Do you got a tweaker?
Oh yeah, I told you that tools. We got a straight. You probably got a straight slot on.
Hopefully what we got going on here. So this was the cause of our problem. Let's see.
Here.
All right, so
It should be a linear pot.
that's what I'm thinking. So I'll go up a little at a time.
Yeah, set your trip voltage and find your point.
I went a little higher that time. We'll do a little at a time until we get it up to 36. That's not.
Keep going. It's 24. Before it was 23.
Yeah. So it's going up, and it is self-resetting.
Yeah.
It's supposed to trip at 36. So.
Got a long way to go.
So 2 turns.
24, 25, 26.
So it's like 1 turn per volt. So if it's at 26, I'm not going to go all the way, but I'm just going to keep going up slow.
Yeah. Well, on a linear, you should be able to go lock to lock without burning anything out. Because there's there's probably another ballast resistor in there to keep it from overdrawing current. 27.
And it self-resets. It's 26.
Oh, I thought I said 27. All right.
Well, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's try that.
Tool is, why did it go out of the cow?
It's not really increasing much, and I haven't run into the limit of it yet.
Good, almost 27.
Not getting much of a change at this point.
No. Are you at the end?
No, it still hasn't hit the end at all.
Oh, 27 again. I think you just you point at diminishing returns.
Yeah. I wonder, is there a limit to this?
Yeah,
Think so?
there should be. It gotta be. I'm gonna hold this down.
I haven't found it yet.
27.
Yeah.
We need to look at the circuit.
Okay. Let's we're gonna de-energize and we're gonna take a closer peek at this before we proceed on.
There's gonna be one right here.
All right, so we ran out of adjustment on the adjuster on the relay, so here's the voltage, and this is whenever this one beeps, it's tripping. So bring it up right there, 27 volts. So the machine is supposed to it's supposed to operate at 28 volts normally, and it's supposed to trip at 36 plus or minus 1. So I think we definitely have a bad relay, or it's mostly functioning as it's intended, but something on this went bad and is bringing the trip voltage down. So I'm gonna look for a new one of these, or come up with a different solution, or even fix this one. But at least it's good knowing that the problem with the NC8 is right here and it's not deeper in the machine, which is good. So, all right, let's get back over to the other hanger. All right, so that's finished. What we got going on there?
Alrighty, gang. So we went ahead and we had two cut in this RG400 coax here. So I went ahead and we crimped that side on a couple weeks ago that we didn't have another one. So I went ahead and got this crimp redone. We went ahead and put a crimp connector on that side and also on that side, and we just put a joiner in the middle. So
Male and female, I think, right?
yeah. Well, no, it's male to male on the joiner.
Oh, it's just got a bullet connector in between?
Yep.
Okay, which is fine.
Yeah, it'll work fine. We're gonna test it when we do the next power on, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, and it's a good point for us to put a meter, like a watt meter for testing power
Yes.
output.
So that is one of the things we're gonna look at doing, is putting a through line watt meter on the radio, make sure we're getting the proper current output. And we'll show you all that whenever it comes along.
Yeah, so next time we roll out the airplane, then we can do another conf checks, and probably me wander to the other side of the field there and actually get some distance between us and the jet, unlike last time.
Yep. So we'll get that going. Hopefully this works out. If not, we'll fix it then.
Awesome. And so yeah, so we should in theory have COM 1, 2, and there we go. We should have COM 1, 2, and 3. Actually, we know COM 1 and 2 work. 3 was the wild card, which we just fixed. So next time we can take the airplane out of the hangar and get the antenna out in open air rather than surrounded by aluminum hangar. We should be able to get a good solid test of COM 3 without all the extra noise that we had on the, because you had it on the headset. There was some sort of like, some noise.
Yeah, COM 3 had a real bad static to it, which kind of makes sense considering there was an unshielded RF cable. With all the different electronics that are running around in this cockpit, there's so much RFI. If you don't have proper shielding, you're gonna get a bunch of noise on that comm.
Yeah,
So.
And having it not grounded properly induces noise on top of things too.
That as well.
So anyway, so that's where we stand. I'm happy we figured out that relay. So we're in the process now of either finding a new relay or coming up with a new solution using just a modern voltage sensitive relay, just with the right pin outs on it so we can make it do what the card expects. Or yeah, and go from there. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you all for watching. We'll catch you next time.
Later, everyone.